Hi, my name is Mackenzie H, and welcome to the second episode of my podcast series and stuff like that. That's the first time I've done that intro in that style, and I've got to say, I like it. I could get used to it. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. Today is a very special episode because as of recording this, today was my last day of school. Now, I'm going to clarify that a bit because it's a very technically thing. So, first off, I want to clarify a couple of things. When I say today, I mean that yesterday at the time this is being uploaded. I normally record these on a Friday and schedule them to be uploaded the very next day, which is a Saturday. So today, at the time of recording this, is Friday, and when I say technically I finished school, it means that I'm on study leave. Now, what that means is basically I don't have to go back to the school. Basically my school year's over in terms of going there to learn. What study leave means is that you basically stay at home and you study, and it applies to year 11, 12, and 13. Throughout this podcast, I'm going to be saying a lot of things that probably won't make sense to foreign listeners, but I promise you it will all make sense by the end, hopefully. So, yeah, I'll explain more about why study leave is a thing, or at least try to. But, yeah, I don't have to go back to the school anymore. And, yeah, today was my last day, and it was quite sad, you know? The place that I'd spent 5 years of my life at, then I just didn't have to go back anymore. And a lot of people who I was friends with, I may never see again, and that's kind of sad, but, you know, that's kind of how life goes. And yeah, it is a little bit sad. I will say a little bit because, I didn't really enjoy a lot of my time, about a good half of my time at high school. I didn't enjoy a good half of my time because, you know, high school's a nightmare for anyone. We're told it's the best years of our life when really, no, it's not. Words of wisdom that I was given by my math teacher in year 12. High school is not the best years of your life. If you're listening to this right now and you're about to go into high school, sorry. Good luck. But yeah, so yeah, I don't have to go back to the school anymore. I do a little bit. I do have to go back to the school, but that's by choice, because I'm on study leave and I've still got assessments to complete. So let me explain how New Zealand's school system works. In a previous recording of this, because I tried to record this a previous time and I failed miserably because it was all just jumbled up and it didn't really make any sense. I did a bit of research and I found out that schools in America are divided into three. You've got primary, middle, and high school. So how New Zealand's school system works is that you start primary school at 5 years old and you go through until 13. So that's 8 years, primary school. There's no middle school, and after those 8 years, you go into 5 years of high school, which is years 9 through 13. I have finished year 13, almost, not quite. I've still got a couple of things to do, but I'll get onto that later. So, yeah, I remember the first day of high school, but actually, you know what? I forget what I said earlier, but I'll explain it later. I'm going to explain it now. So, basically, in New Zealand, we have this thing called NCEA, which is like yearly assessments. I don't know what it is. I don't know the specifics of what it is, but NCEA applies to years 11, 12, and 13, where basically throughout the year, you're given various assessments, and depending on how well you do in them, you get achieved with merit, and achieved with excellence, and you get credits for different assessments. Those credits go towards like a kind of score system, I guess, is the best way of describing it. and those get tallied up, and if you have more than a certain amount at the end of the year, then you pass and you move on to the next year. Once you've passed at year 13, then you can go, you can leave. Now, technically, I haven't passed year 13 yet. I've still got a couple of things left to do, but what I'm hoping is that by the end of next week, I will have finished NCA level 3. And that means I will have finished year 13, and then I can go. Yeah, so that's basically how school works in New Zealand. And if I failed to explain something or you're still confused, use Google, please. Please use Google. I'm not great at explaining these things. God knows why I decided to start a podcast series, because I'm bad at talking. But, yeah, so I haven't finished year 13 yet. But, yeah, next week, hopefully. Yeah, so I was going to say something, but I've kind of lost my train of thought. It's still there, I think. It's still in my mind what I wanted to say. Nope, I think it's just completely gone. But I'll get onto that later. But yeah, I remember my first day of high school, actually. Well, not a lot, but I remember like walking up to the doors and I was like incredibly nervous because I didn't know what to expect. Like, yeah, just starting high school, it's bad enough, you know, but then you got 5 years of it in New Zealand to go through, and that's worse. But yeah, it's been good, it's been bad, you know, there have been a lot of ups and downs, and I've definitely grown as a person. If I remained the same person that I was when I walked in, if I remained the same person now, you wouldn't be listening to this because you wouldn't like it. You wouldn't like me. No one would. I was a cringy, stupid child, as a lot of us probably were when we were 13. But yeah, yeah, I've definitely grown. I feel like the last half of last year is where I started to, you know, kind of like mature and like mature into the person I am today. Because a lot has changed. A whole lot has changed. I picked up like music, you know, and yeah, like a while ago, I don't think I would have considered music as like a career, but now I consider music to be a pathway that I could follow, and I do want to work on that because I really love music. It's very cool. Yeah, so shut up, you. Yeah. But yeah, the later half of 2021 is when I definitely matured into who I am today, and that has kind of been like an evolution since then, yeah, over the last year. But there is still the like childish part in my brain, you know. Just earlier today, I decided it would be a good idea because our drama room at the school, right, it has this shopping cart from New World. God knows how it got there, but it's there. And I decided it'd be a funny idea if I hopped in it and just got one of my friends to push me around a little bit. And I did, and it was funny, and that video is on my Instagram story. It's funny. It's funny. But yeah, the childish part in me is still there, and it's always going to be there, you know? And that's, I'm happy about that. Yeah, and it's quite cool. But yeah, high school wasn't all great, you know. It's not all that it's, you know, cranked up to be, because it's not all of it is fun. Not all of it is happy, and there were definitely ups and downs. But let me walk you through, not a whole lot, but just a couple of things that happened over the 5 years. So, in about April, like very early April, like either April 1st or April 2nd, I created an account. That account would I would use that account to create a YouTube channel, and that YouTube channel would be my YouTube channel up until the first couple of months of 2021. I would upload videos constantly on there. And the thing is, right? The thing is, I've since abandoned that channel. But yeah, I am kind of thinking of hopefully turning it into something else. Yeah, so here's a little secret for you all. You may not know this, but I'm a voice actor. Alright? I'm a voice actor. I'm actually a voice actor in a VR game, which is pretty cool to say. It's really not as impressive as it sounds, but it's still quite impressive. But it's a VR game for a student project. I made a video on it, which includes voice actings I did for Among Us animations back when Among Us was the shit, in late 2020. Don't watch the video, ever. If you do find it, click off it. Don't watch it. It's cringe. I've still got a lot. I'm probably just might private all of the videos on my old channel. But yeah, the name of that channel is the stage name that I use to this very day, Mackenzie H. So yeah, it's kind of the identity that I've accepted and embraced, which is pretty cool. Stupid 13-year-old dumb brain Mackenzie came up with something good for once. But yeah, so in 2018 I started the channel, and I was really going at it on Instagram. I'll occasionally post something on Instagram, but like in 2018 I posted like all the time. And as true to any successful person's life story, I got bullied, I got bullied. Probably took it a bit too hard, Well, I don't say too hard. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, I got bullied. I bet a lot of us did. You were either one of two people. You were either the bullied or the bullier. That's it. That's really all you could be. And yeah, I was bullied in 2018. And that kind of stopped. Because in 2019 I wasn't. It was kind of cool, I was quite happy. In 2020 so 2020 is when I started NCEA. I was an NCEA level 1. We were also hit with a little cool thing called COVID-19. Now that was fun because all 3 years of my NCEA have been overshadowed by COVID-19, which is funny. Funny? Yeah, sure, let's go with funny. It's quite funny. Because in 2019, actually on the 26th of November in 2019, the day of my birthday, we all went on this big walk up this hill. I forget what the name of it is called, but I might walk up it again another time. I think it was 4 hours of walking, I believe, yeah. And that walk was to prepare us for NCEA. Oh, you silly little school. Nothing could have prepared us for NCEA level 1 in 2020. Literally hit with a global pandemic. That was funny. But yeah, I got through that just barely. I got enough credits, and and it was pretty much the same again in 2021. Fun fact, in 2021 I didn't actually think I was going to. I didn't think I was going to pass NCEA, because I thought the number of credits I needed to get was 80, but really, I believe it was 60, and I got 70. So I believed I was 10 credits away, and I would have to redo the year. No, I got into NCEA level 3, and I just started doing that. Yes, Soundtrap, I know that I'm recording. I know that I've been recording for more than 15 minutes. Yeah. So, yeah, I went into NCA level... What? I just heard a ding on my phone. I really need to stop, like, leaving my notifications on when I record this kind of stuff. Please don't fall off the bed. There we go. Yeah, but I was in NCA level 3 in 2022. And now I'm almost out of it. And it's quite insane because it feels like the year has gone past faster than I thought, you know? Like, looking back on the memories I had of 2021, it feels like that year kind of dragged on a little bit, especially when it came towards the last half of it. Yeah, but, you know, that was kind of cool. This year, that's kind of flown by. And I do want to give public criticism to the Year 13 group of 2022. You guys... hold on. No, I need to be more specific. The student leaders of Greymouth High School of Year 13 group of 2022. You guys were terrible at organizing these things. Most of our Year 13 dress-up days were on a Friday, which is when a few people would be at trade, so not everyone could participate and be in the photo. And second of all, you kind of planned things poorly. Yeah, just a little bit, or maybe a lot. I wasn't entirely happy with the planning of the events, but you know what? I don't care, because the year's over and I don't have to put up with bullshit like that anymore. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, 2022 was pretty fun for it being my last year. I made a couple of really cool friends, and I have got a bunch of stuff planned for 2023, and I'm excited to move into that year because I hope in terms of gigs and music events I will be a fully functioning adult, except not with a full car license, so I can't drive myself. So I either get a ride from someone I know or pay for a taxi. That's yeah. But yeah, 2022 was filled with a bunch of cool memories. And I'm really happy that I decided to stick with my school education for the full 5 years. Because a lot of people I knew, two people I knew dropped out. One of them dropped out, I believe, a few years ago. Like, I think first year of NCEA. And I think another friend that I knew dropped out last year, at the end of last year. But it's cool that I'm able to say that I finished I finished NCEA level 3 and I finished high school. I think that's cool to say. I'm quite proud of that. That was kind of the reason why I decided to go back to school. Of course, yeah, the alternative to going back to high school, if I didn't want to, then I'd have to have a full-time job. Yeah, no. I didn't want a full-time job then. I do now. Mainly because I'm about to leave school, and I need money. But yeah, so yeah, I decided to go back to school, and the year kind of flew by. And a lot of stuff happened. I got more serious about the band that I was in, and then I, of course, left that band. Yeah, I'm no longer a part of Bad Wi-Fi. If anyone is still curious, if any of my audience is still curious about whether or not I'm in Bad Wi-Fi, I am not. I'm now in another band called Deadside, and that band might also be coming to an end, because our drummer, Kyle, is going to be leaving for uni next year, so I don't know how long the band's got, and yeah, so it's kind of sad, but you know, I do think my own solo stuff is going well. But yeah, so I was in a band, now I'm not. Yeah, had a girlfriend, now I don't. 2022 was a year of many ups and downs, but I remember posting at the start of the year, I remember posting at the end of 2021, 2022 is going to be my year, baby. And I think, despite all the downs that there were, which I'm not going to get into, I think that I did make it my year. Because, not in terms of school, but, school was fun. But in terms of, like, other things, like music, for example, because I've recently started getting paid for gigs, which is awesome. I've had a major shift in views. Because before I wasn't getting paid for gigs and I was doing fortnightly gigs at Hopaholics. But now, this year, Hopaholics closed, which is quite sad. But I am hopefully going to be doing regular things at Monteith's Brewery starting next year. We've got 3 more gigs lined up this year at Monteith's, and then it's into the new year. And I'm actually doing one of them on the 30th of December, which is cool. And I'm actually doing one on the 19th of November, which is also an important date because 1, that is the 1-year anniversary of Your City Made Me Boring, my first cover album, and 2, it is 1 week before I turn 18, which is cool. Now, a little bit more about my birthday and why I think it's cool. Because it's like the later half of November, it means that I can say, if I get all my shit together, I can say that I have finished school before turning 18, and that's cool. And not a lot of people in my year group can say that because they were born earlier in the year. That's funny. I don't know why I think everything's funny today. I guess I'm just in a bit of a happy mood, Like my life isn't completely dominated by, school. So now I have 6 more hours of my schedule free and I can do gigs at any time of the day I want. But I'm quite happy about that. It's raining. You can't hear it, but it's raining. And that's funny. That's funny. Rain is funny. I actually thought I'd have a lot more to say about, like, school in this podcast episode, but I don't. We're at, like, 23 minutes, and I've kind of ran out of things to talk about. So, I did kind of plan for this, and now I'm going to be talking about some of the things that I planned for 2023. Woo! Double topic episode! And it's only the second one. Oh, this is setting a great precedent. So 2023, I've got a lot of stuff planned. I have more cover albums. I might be releasing either at the end of this year or the start of the next. I'm going to be releasing the project that I'm working on now. I've kind of taken a break from it over the past couple of weeks, but I can tell you one thing. It is what I'm calling a semi-acoustic EP. So like in music where you have like acoustic things and it's like or microphones and stuff and like the natural sound of the guitar when it's not plugged in. Yeah, I'm kind of throwing that out of the window and I'm doing semi-acoustic, which means some stuff will be plugged in, some stuff won't, and it's just going to be a fun time. I've got 2 tracks, but I'm going to re-record those under the semi-acoustic rule. So that EP will either be coming out in December, like late December, or early next year. I don't know when it'll be. It depends on how lazy I am. But I've got another cover album planned, and I have another thing planned, which is special. I won't reveal what it is yet. I'll reveal it in a later episode. But yeah, it's something that I've had in the back of my mind for it's well over a year now. But it's something that I'm looking forward to making, because I think it's something that a lot of you have been asking for. Gigs. Yeah, I plan to do so many fucking gigs in 2023. More gigs than I've ever done in the past like year combined. It's gonna be awesome. I've got once I turn 18, I've got a bunch of venues that I want to target, a bunch of pubs and bars and stuff that I do want to target for gigs, because I feel like that would be pretty cool. I want to try and do like a couple of gigs a month, so like a gig every 2 weeks. That's kind of like the thing that I want to do, because if I'm just busy with gigs all the time, well, not all the time, but most of the time, that might possibly mean that there's a bunch of money coming in, and I need money to buy cool, new, better equipment, because I am planning on replacing my electric guitar Ash in the corner with a Telecaster, because I don't know if you've ever seen a Telecaster guitar. I have seen one in person, and I've never held it, but I want to, because Telecasters are just, they look cool. They look old school and cool, and I want one. But they can be upwards of $600, but there's a Stag one. There's a Stag branded Telecaster, which is $300. And I think that's a worthy sacrifice, because the pickguard kind of looks cool as well. It's a bit unique. But I want to get that. I want to get that and see how it is. And if it's trash, then I'll save up more money and I'll buy like an actual Fender, I think. I think there's a cheap Fender for like $600, I believe. But some of the electric guitar, some of the Telecasters, they can get expensive, like into the thousands of dollars, and I don't have that kind of money. I also need to buy a new phone, because yesterday I just dropped it and it's slightly cracked in the corner and I don't like it, because it's triggering my minor OCD. New albums, new EPs, new gigs, new singles. There's going to be a bunch of singles. I didn't really do anything this year in terms of like album stuff. I did one album and one single, and that's pretty much it. I might do a single at the end of the year like I did last year with Oh Yeah, You're Gonna Cry. I might do another thing, because I do have a couple ideas of singles that I might want to do. But next year, I know I promised last year that 2022 was going to be the most like musically active year in terms of albums, because I had a bunch of plans. Yeah, that kind of didn't go my way. But don't worry, I'm not going to make the same promise twice. So in 2023, there is a chance you might get more music content than you did this year. And that's a chance. I am planning on coming back to the music channel, even though I'm ending the weekly streams. I am ending the weekly streams with a big one on Sunday. I'm going to be coming back and doing videos, because it's been 2 months since I uploaded an actual cover. So I'm thinking, because I've got a few saved up, and I've got a few things I want to record now that I have a brand new acoustic guitar amplifier with built-in effects and features and stuff, and it's really awesome, and I really like it. It's got a looper pedal. Well, it's not a looper pedal, but it's a looper effect. It's got chorus, it's got reverb, it's got delay. Sorry, I'm burping. I'm having too much Pepsi. But it's got Bluetooth, and it's fucking cool, and it has a microphone input as well, and I'm just going full geek mode. It's very awesome. It set me back $800. But it was worth every single dollar, and I'm quite happy that I've got it. But yeah, I'm hoping to do busking, plenty of busking next year, at various events. So you can expect a lot of stuff from me next year. And since and also my hopes is to get like a job, like a working job with a reliable income. That's going to be my goal, and I need to do that. I need to start working on that. Yeah. I think I said, I definitely said this last year, but I'm going to say it again for next year. 2023 is going to be another one of my years. I feel a lot of cool things are going to come from 2023. And you're going to get a lot of cool things. Yeah. I'm going to be doing so many gigs in 2023. I've kind of run out of things to talk about in this episode. I'm sorry. You know, I kind of thought that this would go on for longer than it has. But I think I'm going to stop there. You know what's funny? The last podcast series I tried, I think the second episode where I talked about 2022 roughly went on around this time. And that's kind of funny. But yeah, so I don't know if I mentioned it in the start. I may have forgotten about it. But I am going to sing a little song for you to kind of reflect how I feel school went for me. This is a tradition that I'm looking to do every single episode, not to reflect anything, but just because I don't think it's in tune. It's not. Let me fix that real quick. Yeah. For those of you who are only familiar with my podcast work from just the podcast, I am a musician. Yeah. I'm a guitarist and a singer, and I do sing. Sometimes tuning can be a bitch, and that's no lie. Yeah. I'm sorry for the silence. I've really got nothing to say. There's nothing, you know? All right. So, as I am about to wrap up school, an end of an era and the start of a next, I want to use this song to reflect upon what has happened, what I feel has happened, and I feel like this song perfectly reflects a lot of the things that I felt in high school. This song is called I Am Very Smart by Buzzsprout. Hope you enjoy. I've been straight A since beginning of grade school, 4.0 GPA and a college grant too. Correcting the teachers is a notable feature, reminding them my daddy earns more than you. And oh, I'm not a product of my insecurities. On the contrary, I'm a cannonball personality of unscrupulous scrutiny. I'm a genius. I'm really fucking smart. I'm a genius. Oh, I'm really smart. Ba 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 da 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 ba ba da dum. Ba 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 da 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 ba ba da dum. Now I'm 16 and a master in history, aquatic biology, geography too, taking notes so everybody can know on this test I'm gonna score higher than you. And oh, I'm not a product of my insecurities. I'm just wondering why I wasn't invited to the end of year high school party. It's probably 'cause I'm a genius. I'm really fucking smart. I'm a genius. Oh, I'm really smart. I'm really smart. When I enter in the room, everybody hides and ducks. It's probably 'cause they think I'm an annoying little genius. I don't know what I've done to deserve this. Envy is a plague and they all have caught the Black Death. Now I'm 20 and my life is getting slower. I don't know why I can't compete. Up and cruising like this since I can remember. The simple challenges I can't complete. Oh, I think I'm starting to succumb to my insecurities. Maybe grade school was the place where I peaked. Ba-ba, 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 ba-ba. I think I've made a mistake. The first mistake I've ever made. I'm not a genius. I'm not even that smart. But one thing is true. I'm smarter than you. I'm smarter than you. I'm smarter than you. Smarter than you. I'm smarter than you. And I've learned my lesson. Woo, that went well. Yeah. I'm actually thinking about it now. You will get something at the end of the year. It's kind of more like an archived thing. But you will get something. So, hey, better than nothing. Yeah, I'm talking about an EP. I will release an EP at the end of this year. If I release something before that, regardless of whether I release anything in November, December, you will get something at the end of the year. And it's something that no one has heard. Not a lot of people have heard. Yeah. So, I'd like to thank you all very much for listening to this podcast. Sorry it didn't go on for as long as I wanted, but hey, I stalled for time. Yeah, so I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Bye-bye.